Welcome to Power Math. So today what I wanted to do was work on adding fractions with common and uncommon denominators. And again, my goal is to get you through this in a fast, efficient way that's going to get you the right answer and that's going to make sense to you, and then hopefully help you understand like why you're even doing all this stuff in class. Okay? Coming from a teacher, it's good that you practice these basic skills because you're going to need them in the future. So when we have two numbers that we're adding that are fractions that have a common denominator, it's pretty straightforward what we can do. If we have something like 1/5 plus 2/5, okay, we have a common denominator. We have something in common in the denominator space that can be used for both. And so when we add these types of parts together, it's pretty straightforward because there's not much that needs to get done on the bottom, okay? Because again, we're talking about parts of a whole, okay? So if we had this entire pie here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, okay? If we had 1/5, right? There's 5 parts, so it's in fifths. If we had 1/5 and we added 2/5, we would add this guy and this guy. The total amount that we would have would be 3/5, right? Because we have 3/5, okay? So 1 plus 2 is 3, and so we would have 3/5. It gets a little crazy though when the numbers don't have similar denominators, and so let's go through a couple of those and explain. Let's just stick to 1. We'll do 1/2 plus 2/3. How about that? Okay. Now, most of the time, the book is going to encourage you to find the LCD, or lowest common denominator, or least common denominator. What you're really trying to do is find something that we can have on the bottom, right, that matches both of these guys, because you need a similar denominator. You need this thing to be all one big part of a whole, okay? And so when we're doing that, there's different methods. The method that I prefer to use, just because I feel like it's very reliable and straightforward, is to just draw my little carrots, and you'll notice I do these in a lot of my videos, okay? If you're not good with your numbers, if you're not sure, then this is usually a quick way to do it. If you know what the LCD is, or lowest common denominator, or least common denominator is, or lowest common factor or multiple, then use it because it is a helpful skill to have. But if you're not sure, it's always going to work if you just use the opposite number. So on this side over here, I would use this denominator and use 3. On this side, I would use the 2, okay? And the reason I put those little arrows is to remind me where I'm going to multiply that number. So 3 times 1 is going to give me a 3. 3 times 2 is going to give me a 6. 2 times 2 is going to give me a 4. 2 times 3 is going to give me a 6. Awesome. Now see what we've done? By multiplying the top and bottom by the opposite denominator, we've now come up with two fractions that have, da-da, the same denominator, okay? And like I said, once you have the same denominator, now you can start adding the stuff on the top, all right? So 3 plus 4 is 7. The denominator is 6, and that's our answer, okay? Now, you could look at that answer and say, but you know what, that's an improper fraction, or I need to change it to a mixed number. And yeah, you probably do, or who knows what your teacher's going to want. But for now, at least you understand the math behind finding the common denominators. If you do want to understand how to change these to mixed numbers, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.